Start already? Okay. Hi everyone. Hello. Okay, my name is Annabelle. Okay, thank you for joining me again. Okay, so today is the last Sunday of, oh no, Saturday of September. All right. So I'm here again. So if you joined me last week, I made rabbits. So this is what I made. A dish, okay, a rabbit dish. This is inspired by the character Miffy. Okay, and I made a rabbit keychain also. All these were, of course, in preparation for Mid-Autumn Festival. So, and then the earrings you see I'm wearing, okay, is the Chinese lantern earrings. All right, so these are the ones that I made 2 or 3 weeks back. Okay, so these are also something that you can wear on the day itself. Yeah, so Mid-Autumn Festival is what this Saturday, this Thursday, next Thursday, and I'm sure all of you have your moon cakes prepared and your, all your prepared for the small gatherings and things like that. So, when you have your small gatherings, if you're making polymer clay projects, these are some things that you can use to just spruce up your small gatherings and decorate a little bit, or maybe like dress up a little and things like that. So today, I will have the last installment for the Mid-Autumn Festival, and I will be doing some moon earrings. Okay, so I'm making earrings, but I will teach you how to make the moon itself, and you can do a lot of things after learning how to make the moon. If you can see on this side, this one that I have hanging here, this is actually just a hanging ball, like moon phases. Okay, so oh, okay, Opa's asking me to shift this because cannot see. Is it on the screen? Okay, hang on. Maybe if Opa, maybe you zoom into this one. Can you zoom into this on the small this one? Can you use that to zoom in? Yeah, okay. Opa's helping me. So the moon phases, right? I created this moon phase thing. I'll tell you how I made it. I'll show you how to make the moon first. Okay, so what I'm showing today is moon earrings, of course, but just making the moon itself, you can make a lot of, you can do quite a bit with it, project-wise. You can make it into decorative items, you can make it into jewelry items and bracelet, anything like that. Okay, so very simple. Today you see a few items in front of me. White clay. Okay, this is what we will need, white clay. And then if you have foil, I just got this from Art Friend. So it's like rose gold foil. Okay, this is rose gold, but they have gold, they have silver, they have quite a bit. So you can get a packet of it, not expensive. Um, if not, you can also get glitter. Not the ones like the glue, not the instant, the pre-mixed one with the glue already. It's just glitter itself. You can get it from Popular or anything like that. And then I'll show you what to do with it later, okay? So very quickly, okay, you are if you're making jewelry, then your cutter does not have to be very big, or your cookie cutter. So this is what you need tool wise. Okay, you need a roller, you need a cutter, okay, and then you need a cookie cutter. If you don't have a cookie cutter, you can use bottle cap, plastic bottle caps. Okay, so I did mention last week that these are the things you do need to prepare. um so if you have anything lying in around your house, you can always make use of that. You don't have to specifically go out and buy or search for a cookie cutter. Okay, this is actually about bottle cap size. So you won't go wrong if you use a bottle cap. Okay. Okay. The other thing, if your cutter, like if you're using a bottle cap, right, it's plastic, you will need some corn flour. So I got the corn flour. I put it in a small container. All right. This is to make sure that you can coat the cutter itself, the plastic cutter, and so that the clay does not stick to it, and you won't have difficulties removing the clay from the cutter itself. Okay, so that is quite important. If you want to make something bigger, like the moon, the hanging that I made, okay, you need to search for a bigger mold. Like the bottle cap is not going to be big enough, because if you're going to hang on your wall, then you probably need something that's a bit bigger. I would recommend those, sometimes when you tapao food back home, quite a lot of us do that. It comes in like that plastic, you know, that microwavable, disposable plastic container. Okay, maybe Opa, are you going to get? No, he's not. Okay, do you want to get me the cap to show the plastic, the disposable cap? I always used to make the coaster, that one. I don't know whether he knows what I'm talking about. But you can always use that kind of oh, he does. Yes, I just need one. Yes, there we go. Okay, so sometimes it comes in this little cap, plastic cap. So you can use this, okay? And this one is definitely big enough for like hanging on the wall. Okay, so I will show you what you can do with it. For the wall hanging wise, like how I made it and things like that. But if you're going to make like a wall ornament, okay, for decoration, you would need, of course, a bigger stencil or a bigger cutter. Okay, so I'm going to show earrings today. So I will do the earrings, but I will also at the same time go through how you can do the wall hanging too. Okay. Okay. So for earrings, I don't need a lot of clay. For those that are making earrings with me today, you do not need a lot of clay, okay? You probably want to have something that is about ping pong size um, uh, ball of clay. So when you roll your ball of clay together, it's about the size of a ping pong ball, a table tennis ball, okay? That is good enough, all right? So you just roughly get it into a round ball shape, okay? And then make sure your working surface is clean, because you do not want to pick up dust or any other colored clay and things like that. If you're not too sure, all right, don't worry. Just get baking paper, parchment paper, and then work on top of the baking paper. You can lay it on the baking paper itself, okay? Next, we are going to use the roller, all right? And then the roller itself, we're going to go from the middle, press down in the middle, roll it towards yourself, press down in the middle and roll it towards yourself, okay? So this is what you're supposed to do. Now, if anyone has any questions, please do let me know. If I'm going too fast, let me know too, so I will slow down. If you need me to repeat any steps, please also do let me know, then I can repeat, okay? All right. So I've already rolled out to about the thickness I want, okay? Why I always start in the center, roll out, and then center again and roll out. Then I'll turn it, center, roll out, and then from the center and I go out. This is because it will make sure that my clay, the sheet I'm making is of even thickness. You will want it about half a cm thick. If it's too thin, it can crack quite easily, or it can break apart quite easily. So you do want to make sure that it's not too thin. All right. So now that you have it at the thickness that you want, okay, If you're making a pair of earrings, then you would only need two. I would show you what you need to do. So get your corn flour, or if it's glutinous rice flour, it's fine. As long as it's very fine flour. Get it ready, okay? You're going to dip your cutter or the mold that you have, if it's a bottle cap. Okay, you're gonna dip it in there. Just coat it, have a very light coating of it around the cap itself. Okay, this one you don't have to worry too much because the flour is white and we're working with white clay. You have to be really careful that it's not too much if you're working with like darker colored clay like black or blue or things like that, because then the white would really stand out. It'll be quite obvious, and then you would have to probably like kind of wipe it away. Okay, so if your moon is going to be white, you can definitely use you don't have to worry too much about how thick your your cookie cutter, like the flour coating is on your cookie cutter, all right? So I'm just going to cut out maybe I'll cut out 4. It seems I can get 4 out of this sheet. Okay, but you can cut out as much as you need from your sheet, all right? So like I said, you see, it will kind of stick onto it like this. You can push it out. Now, if you're using a bottle cap, right, then you will have to kind of like, you probably will have to flip it on the other side and take a satay stick or a toothpick to kind of help you like pick it out a little from the edge and then kind of pick it out this way, okay? If you're using a cookie cutter, it'll be a bit easier. Okay, so I'm maybe going to make 4. Okay, 2, 3. I'm going to try and cut as much as I can out of this sheet that I have made. Okay, it seems I can get 4 out of it. Okay, so I've gotten 4 out of this, okay? Okay, now that there's a lot of flour on the table, we are going to just clean it up and wipe it down. So I'm going to get a wet cloth, okay? So this is my, I have a cleaner that I use here quite a bit. It really gets rid of the oil stains very well, and because polymer clay does contain oil, okay? So it does get rid of that quite well, and it picks up quite a bit of the dirt as well. Okay, and you don't have to, I like it because I don't have to run water over it again. It's just easy to use. Okay, so it's a kitchen cleaner that I found that was very useful. Okay, so now that my working tabletop is clean again, I have 4 here. All right. I will see what I want to do with this later, but the same cookie cutter that I was using earlier, okay? So this is completely round, then you get a full moon, you know, it's going to be full moon. So if you want to leave it completely round, it's fine because it's full moon autumn. Okay, so I'll leave 2 completely round because it is full moon autumn and I do want to have you know, in celebration to that, you know, then we can have the full moon earrings. Okay. The other 2, I'm going to make it into crescent shaped earrings. Okay. So with crescent shape, it is more obvious that they are moon and things like that. So I will show you how I'm going to make it into crescent shaped. So for the crescent shaped one, I will take the same cookie cutter and then I will just place it on top. If you can see here, I will place it on top this way, okay? And then just cut it down. So I cut a bit away and then I have the crescent shape, okay? For some others, they really like the crescent shape to be really, really fat. I don't know if I can show you an example. Hang on. can show you a different example of it, but okay, for some others, they like maybe a really fat crescent shape, so they will use like a straw and poke it out so that this whole thing will be like really, like the crescent shape will be really fat and then the small cutout will be very tiny. I don't really like that look, so I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to do, it's always safer, you know, you don't need too many tools if you use the same bottle cap that you're using and then kind of just cut it down again. Okay, for me, right, I'm not very particular that the two crescent shapes have to be exactly the same size, all right? But you know, if they are similar in size, then it's good enough. So I am going to do it that way. Okay, you can, if someone says, oh, it's so different size, earrings can be asymmetrical, so you don't have to be too particular, and there's different phases of the moon as well. So these are you know, you can always be more creative and do it that way. And then this ones, okay, I will put it aside. So for the wall hanging, sorry, I'm jumping back and forth a bit. Okay, never mind. I'll talk about the wall hanging later. For so to move on, I will have to give my moon a bit of texture. Okay. So now that I'm done cutting, I have my two crescents and my full moon. I have to give it a bit of texture to make it look more moon-like. Okay. So I'm going to take. Okay, I found a comb. Last time when I went traveling in a hotel, they had disposable combs and things like that. So I had used it, um, and I didn't want to throw it away. This one because I kind of used it to when I was dyeing my hair. So I was combing through with the dye and everything, and then it got old. So, but it's still I thought it could still be useful, okay, and I didn't want to throw it away. So I have kept it, and then this little how to say, it's rounded tips here. It's not sharp end, okay. These are rounded tips. It can be quite useful for making the textures in the moon. All right, I found this in a house. This usually the end of plastic combs kind of look like that. If you don't have this, right, what else can you use? If you don't have this, you can try, you find something in the house that kind of has a rounded tip at the end of it. Um, Sometimes I know, like if you do nail art and things like that, they do have like those dotting tools. They sell it in Guardian a lot. It's like a dotting tool for nail art, you know, to kind of make like flower pattern shape on your fingernails and things like that. So the dotting tools will work as well, okay? So, but I have this. I don't have a dotting tool, so I'm using this instead. But what I'm going to do, okay, if you can see here, I'm just going to lightly kind of just dot randomly, okay, there's no particular pattern to it, go over the whole moon so it creates like a uneven texture, like with dots in it. Okay, so this is what I'm doing, and then I'm just going to press very hard, like with a bit more force. Okay, just at one spot, doesn't matter where, just randomly press. This is going to create like the crater that you find in the moon. Okay, so this is what I am trying to create with this. So same thing. Okay, I'm going to do this again, just randomly go around. Okay, and once I'm happy with that, I'll just press hard once. Okay, because mine is a comb and it has many, you know, of this rounded tips, I just choose to press hard once. But if you're using the dotting tool, which is only like one rounded end, right, then you do have to kind of go around, and then you can make a few deeper, like, you know, craters of the moon, so to speak, around. Okay, so it doesn't have to be in any particular pattern. This should be just done randomly. Same for the crescent. Okay, I kind of will go around this way and then press a little harder. Okay, and then Ooh, is this the right way? Yes. And then kind of lightly just press and then press hard again. All right. So this is my this is how I created the craters. Okay. And then now that I've created this, I'm going to use the foil. Now, if you don't have foil, you can always use glitter, the one without glue, just glitter itself. Okay, and then you can just sprinkle a bit of the glitter on top of it. If not, you can, if you have foil, you can just kind of randomly place some foil on the moon that you're working on. It doesn't have to be too much, okay? You do not need a lot of it. You just need a few small flakes here and there to, you know, give it a little bit more pattern, a little bit more texture, okay? And I'll show you how to make that texture a little better. All right. So this sticks on really well to unbaked clay. Okay, so if your clay is baked, then you will definitely have a harder time doing this. So you should do it when it is not baked. If you stick it into the oven for baking, it will not affect the color of the foil. Okay, foil only, the color only gets affected when you put varnish on top of it. Okay, if you coat it with something after it's done baking, or over time, it might tarnish. If you get a silver foil, it might tarnish over time. So you do want to keep that in mind. But even though it tarnishes, right, it still looks kind of nice. Like it has a different dimension to it. So don't worry too much about it tarnishing and things like that. Now, if you're really worried about those things, right, then my suggestion, just get glitter. Glitter won't, change very much. So it might be a little bit messier. And you might want to work on top of a tray when pouring the glitter on top. But glitter, it definitely won't tarnish like foil will, okay? So now to make it a bit more natural looking for the foil, I'm going to take an old toothbrush, okay? This is another free from this traveling type of hot trips that I went, okay? So it's just a toothbrush, a very cheap one, a free one actually. And then I just kind of run it on top, give it some small light taps over the foil itself. Okay, and then you can see the texture of the foil actually like changing. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is instead of the foil looking like, because I just tore it earlier on and then I kind of just stuck it on, right? If I use the toothbrush to kind of press on top of it, okay, that area, it looks a little bit more integrated into the clay itself, okay? So it doesn't look so like I tore it and just stuck it on top, okay? So like that. So you can see compared to the one that I haven't used, like run a toothbrush over it. So it does look a little bit different. All right. So I do it for all four, just over the foil. Okay, once you do it, you can use your finger, kind of give it a good rub, a little rub, and then it will integrate a little bit better. So this is what we are going to do. Okay, I'm using gold, rose gold here. What I'm trying to create, maybe it's kind of a little bit of like the shadows we see on the craters and things like that. Because the moon, as you know, it's not white, right? But it does have shadow areas and things like that. So this is just a little bit, this is just to kind of recreate that a little. Silver obviously will look a little bit more realistic if you were to use silver and do this. But given that this is art and things like that, you can really use any way we want to express it. But this is what I am doing to kind of recreate the shadow portion of the moon. All right. So I have this four. Okay. So now, I did say to prepare your eye pin. Okay, I have a couple of eye pins here. This is the eye pin, okay, with the round loop at the end. All right, so I have four of it. This is going to be my connectors for so that I can connect it onto earrings and things like that. Now, if your sheet is big and you could get more than 4, like what I as compared to me, because my sheet I only could manage to get 4 out of it. Okay, you can always, if you have quite a bit, you can always create a bracelet instead. So if you do create a bracelet, then you want like you want to put an eye pin on each end of it so you can connect it as a bracelet throughout. Okay, but if not, if it's just earrings, you just need one eye pin, which I'm doing today, earrings. Okay, you need pliers. So if you have a wire cutter, you do have to cut it. If you have a wire cutter, you do have to. Oops. Okay. I found it. It flew towards me. If you have a wire cutter, you do have to cut it short a little. My eye pin's a bit long. Some eye pins are a bit shorter. It depends on just what you buy. Okay. So mine's a little bit longer. So I'm just going to cut it. Making sure it doesn't fly away. No. 4 I need to cut. Okay, my Miffy dish is very useful today. It's going to be my dish to help me collect rubbish. Okay, and then okay, why I kind of wrap my hand close around it and cut it is because I don't want it like flying everywhere. All right, so that's why I kind of have that. Take your flat nose pliers. Okay, I'm just going to fold the end of it. I always do this is just to make sure that you know, it doesn't slip right out when I'm baking it. Okay, because if it does, then I do have to add super glue to the thing, and if adding super glue sometimes can have a different, it can create that kind of like misty. If it doesn't dry clear, then it will create that kind of like coating on top of it, which you might not want for your jewelry. Okay, so you do want to make sure that you do have this little fold at the end so that your pin doesn't just slip right out, okay, when you put it into your bead itself. Okay, this goes for everything, not just the project I'm making today, but whatever charms or jewelry or ornaments you're making, this will be this is actually a good idea to do. All right, it's good to do this. If there's any questions, please do let me know. You know, I'll be, I can answer your questions. All right. I'll be more than happy to. I am making, you know, the moon phases for Mid-Autumn Festival. For those that are just joining, you know, you can always like our page if you're interested in polymer clay. You can like my page. There's a group. Please join the group. Okay, I'll be more than happy to see what kind of projects you've made, and you know, I would want to definitely, if you need some creative ideas and things like that, I'll be more than happy to chat with you about it, because I myself am always constantly looking for ideas as well, and I like it when I like talk to other people, and you know, and they can give me ideas as well. Okay, so there are 4 eye pins here. The other thing is, you know, if you have any questions about like where to buy these items and things like that, you know, or you're not too sure what you need to get, it's always good to, you know, we can always meet up, and then we can, you know, have a little shopping trip, and you can see what you need to buy. Okay, so for the eye pin that I have now, I have a sharp nose plier here. I'm just going to use that to help me, and I am going to insert it in here. Okay, so that is my eye pin, and that will create the loop so that I can connect it onto the earring, the hoop earrings that I have. Okay, so I'm more than happy to really, you know, have a little trip, an outing trip with anyone, and I think this is good, like, you know, to kind of if you're not too sure, if you're just starting out with polymer clay, or even if you've been doing it for a while and you just kind of want to bounce ideas off someone, I think this is a good, I always like it when I get to meet people who are doing this hobby as well. Then they can, we can exchange ideas and things like that. And sometimes I think that would be a nice, little outing and things like that. For those that are new, then it'll be good to know what you need to buy and things like that, so that you don't spend what you do not need. I did that quite a bit when I first started out. I bought so many things and I realized that kind of like half of it I don't really use. So I wasn't sure what color I needed to get, and then whatever that was pretty, I just got it. And in the end, quite a bit of the clay that I got in the beginning was just a little bit wasted because I didn't know what to do with it. So it's always good. I wish I had someone to kind of, like bring me around to see what I needed to get. Okay, so this is done. And I have 4 here, and these are ready to go into baking. Okay, so I do have the wall hanging that I did earlier that I said I will show you guys how I do it. The wall hanging, I'm going to put these aside, okay, because these are ready for baking. So I will put this in my baking tray. And then for baking, okay, what you need is, if you're having the oven, all right, you can set it at 120 on the package as it says. I set it at about 120 to between 120 and 130. Depends on how hot your oven gets. Maybe about 20 minutes to 25 minutes is more than enough, all right? And you can just leave it. If you have a toaster oven, a smaller one, my suggestion is, and it only has like the medium, low, medium, or high setting, go between like low to medium, in between. Don't go to medium because it's too high. If the grill it's too close, it gets too hot and it can burn your clay. I've done it with a toaster oven before. It was fine. I had to put it on the low setting, and I did it for about 5 to 8 minutes because the whole oven got really hot. And then I had to take it out and kind of let it cool a little, the clay itself. And I stuck it back in for another 2 minutes, maybe slightly less. It depends on the toaster oven itself. And then took it out again, and sometimes it's done. If it's a bigger project, it's not done, you have to kind of stick it back in again, and it kind of goes in and out, just to make sure that you don't burn the clay. Because once you burn the clay, that's an irreversible process, and you cannot, you have to redo it if you're not happy with the outcome, okay? Okay, so for the next part, okay, that I will kind of go through about the clay itself. Okay, I have hang on for the wall hanging that I said, very similar to it's very similar to how I made the earrings. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this here. Ugh, kind of. All right, can you see this, Opa? Yes. Okay, so for this wall hanging that I have here, right, like I said earlier, I had a larger cookie cutter, which I used, and I can show that to you. So the larger cookie cutter I used the largest one that I have, okay? So that's the larger one. But if you don't have something large like that, you can always use like the lid of like a microwavable Tupperware that you have, those disposable ones. This one's kind of big, but they have those that, like the sauce, when they help you with your condiments and things like that, you can use that. But if you want something bigger, then go ahead, use something bigger. You just need a lot more clay, okay? But the method of doing this is exactly the same, okay? This is like a moon phases, concept. So what I did was, of course, you have the full moon and then the crescent and then the different phases here. For these ones that I made that look like this, right? This is actually the cutout from this one. So you can see that it makes a perfect, I'm standing up, sorry. It makes a perfect circle, okay? But what I did was I used the cutter to cut it out. And then instead of throwing this piece out, okay, which I kept it on instead, and then I kept it on as the different moon phases. So it's the same for the rest of these as well, okay? I used that for this one, and then this was the perfect, you know. Then I kind of just randomly hang everything together. Um, and this is how I made. I got this rod. Okay, for the moon itself, I poked the hole because I'm gonna hang it. So I need a hole for me to, you know, hang. I use a satay stick to just poke the top of it before baking it and things like that. But the method of how I made the earrings and this exactly the same. Doesn't change, okay? The other materials I got was hamstring. So the hamstring, I got it from Daiso. Very cheap. They have it like, I think it's like three for $2 or something. These things are quite useful. I use it to tie my presents and gifts and hangings and things like that. The wooden stick, I also got it from Daiso. They have this like wood DIY section, and they sell like wooden rods like this. Okay, it comes in different lengths, so you can choose what you want. And then I have the hamstring again to tie off, and then so that I can just hang everything. So you can play around with it. There's really a lot you can do. Okay. I'm going to hang this in my in my baby room. So we're decorating the nursery, and then this is going to be one of the things that we're going to hang in the room. Okay, it's cute. And it's just something that, you know, easy to make, and it's not expensive. Okay. So if you want any more ideas, you know, please feel free to private message or message in the chat group. You know, like the page, you know, and share the page if you want, you know, leave comments. Okay, I'll be more than happy to. If there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer the questions. If not, I am done for today. Oh, that's right. For next week, Halloween is coming. So I'm going to have a Halloween installment. Like I'm going to have a few sessions on Halloween decorations and accessories and things like that. So next week, in preparation for Halloween, I think the most common uh thing that we associate with Halloween sometimes, besides, okay, there's pumpkin and there's ghosts, witches, you know, and spiders. So looking at this next week, I'm going to make spiders. Okay, very easy, very simple. You can use it as decorative items, or you can wear it as earrings, bracelets, anything. But you need black clay, white clay, and a little bit of pink. Okay, white, you don't need so much, it's just a little bit. Okay, so it will be a very simple project to start off the Halloween installment. And yeah, I hope to see you guys again next week. Thank you for joining me today. All right, and if there's any questions, please feel free to private message. If you do want to, you know, have an outing, go out and, you know, buy the resources you need, we can definitely meet up to do that. Okay. This weekend we have a lot of things, you know, going on, a lot of sessions. So stay tuned for Opa's Korean teaches Korean later at 3 o'clock. And he will tell you all about Chuseok. It's a very big holiday there. And then tomorrow there'll be a full day of sessions as well. Okay, so please do come back, visit our page, like us, leave comments. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'm done. And I hope to see you guys again next week. Okay. Bye bye.